Good morning once again and welcome back from the break. This is The Dialogue. My name is Prince Apollo. On the panel this morning, Dr. Gerard Wanzara, a public policy researcher, is here with us. We have Richard Baguma, communication expert, but also a strong advocate for proper nutrition and better, is it better living? Mm-hmm. Yes. We hoped we would have a legislator in the House, but not yet here. Looking at the major events that happened this week, away from the disasters and effects of climate change, let's look at the money heist at the Bank of Uganda. 62 billion shillings, it is claimed, was stolen through a cyber attack. The hackers stole the money. Actually, it was in September. It is reported in September, and the money was the hackers, it is said, were redirecting rechanneling the funds to East Asia, and investigations are still going on. The Minister of Finance confirmed that there was a breach on the IT systems of the central bank, but again the minister said the amount quoted in the reports may not be true, but the fact is there was a breach. What does it mean to you, Dr. Werihe, having the central bank not having in place secure firewalls or strong firewalls and IT systems that can prevent hackers from stealing public money?
Apple, I think you are. I think for me, this, I have some knowledge about how bank, ICT theft happens. One of the ways it happens is through impersonation, where a certain client, a person pretends to be the actual client and may use emails and corrupt the bank into payment which they are not entitled to. We also have cases where they compromise the ATM passwords, manipulate the systems, and then go and withdraw money from the ATMs. That has always happened. And then there are also cases which I believe this one is where internal system failure grants access or facilitates a cyber crime. Because if I have to read what is going on, I've heard that about 17 people have been probed from the Accountant General's office, Minister of Finance, and the Bank of Uganda, meaning there is already a collusion between important offices that run affairs in the central bank. And then now, if you trace many cases of cybercrime in the banks, most times they are facilitated internally, whereby there may be data breach where someone leaks information about accounts of, and this has been happening a lot in commercial banks here, where they know Richard has his money there, and then someone internally corresponds with other people and they steal money from the client's account. But this one is, I don't know how I can call it. It's not even sophisticated cyber crime. It is theft, petty direct theft, whereby people responsible do not exercise, their authority or responsibility with discipline, and they decided to have access or facilitate siphoning of the money out of the bank. It is not so much different from this blatant theft in the Post Bank, which also was in the news this week in Mbale, where it is alleged the bank the bank branch management placed fake currency
In the
in
vault.
the ATMs. And then you know what happened? Definitely people will withdraw the fake currencies and you will be caught. Because there's no way an outsider can bring fake money and put it in the ATM for people to withdraw. So I think this country is collapsing in our faces. You know, while we see some progress taking place, if we don't address the issue of discipline, if we don't get serious on the issue of discipline, we are going to push this country down the nose. Now, there are also other good corporate governance practices. The law says what? The Bank of Uganda shall have a governor. And the governor of Bank of Uganda shall also be the chairperson of the board. Now, for years, we are not even respecting the structure of the bank. Why did we in the first place require that the bank will have a governor and then a deputy governor and then directors and then executive directors? So one of the best corporate practices in the banks is to have the structure complete. Because when it is complete, there are various responsibilities, roles assigned to each office. And then the other, of course, is risk management. Because banks handle money. And therefore, there should be systems, internal controls that are able to detect. And that is why you have various authorization levels. But if these authorization levels now become the facilitators of crime, then it is a very big... I'm not even surprised that the president is using the former CMI to lead the investigations, to be working together with the CID, because that one is very, very dangerous. A central bank, many people, banks invest there by buying government securities, treasury bills. The bank also holds treasury bills of other international players who invest in Uganda. So if money is just stolen like that, then what is the investor confidence that you are putting in the people who put their money there?
Richard, well, we live in a technology-driven world, and hackers, as well as we work with technology, there are people who are actually working to undermine this technology. Can we say this is just a technological challenge, or maybe, like others have suggested, it could be collusion?
The probably global, the statistics I've tried to look at, the number of cyber attacks on the financial sector double every year, almost, for the years that have been looked at, 3-4 years behind. They double worldwide. So this, it is when it happens closest to you that you become aware of it. But that financial sector players are being hacked, cyber attacked, and resources taken is happening very regularly and very frequently, and all over the world. The other thing is that cyber attacks are not just on the financial sector. In fact, if you look at what you'd expect to be very well guarded, the military
installation
and intelligence, those are the ones you would expect to have a real, cyber security around them. But the UK, the US intelligence service, they have all been hacked. We have seen these stories around. So because that's where we live, we are living, while we are physical, we are also very digital in our lives. So the people who have the knowledge to build these systems also have the knowledge how to compromise them. So cyber attacks are happening. They are going to continue happening. So the race to build cyber security should also look, because you see, a lot of the digital investments in the security setup here are surveillance, intrusive mechanisms. How do we go to Dr. Werike's intestines and see what is eaten? How would we get the closest into his bedroom and under his bed and into his phone? And you know, that's where the cyber security investments largely are.
Yeah, but Richard, this is the central bank. This is the Bank of Uganda, like he said. One place, I mean, one entity that is managing the properties of other many entities, and you expect them to have a strong firewall and a system that cannot easily be breached.
If you look at probably the 10 largest bank attacks, the cyber attacks, the 10 largest in the United States, all those banks have more money than our Bank of Uganda. You know, the banks there, some companies have more money than our country. Yeah, so some of these attacks are on bigger institutions. And I told you, for me, even the military, the intelligence services, where you expect that they really have security, they have been penetrated. So that's a real problem now, and it needs to be understood first of all in that context, because I hear a lot of comments as if this is a Ugandan
Ugandan way of doing things.
As if it's a Ugandan problem. And then I can also say that almost all the large banks in this country have actually had
suffered
leakages because of cyber attacks. You see, the thing about these cyber attacks, especially on these financial institutions and insurance, then the companies or the institutions work very hard to kill the story. Yeah, that the story does not see the day.
To limit damage.
Because you have to limit damage and also maintain confidence. So now to come to our central bank one, the investigations are going on. We don't know what direction they will take. The little information that I can't really say is that there were 2 regular payments that were being made, and these are regular credit. The regular payments will be paid to credit institutions to loan. 2 regular loan repayments. I think they are monthly or something regular. And so what the hackers studied were the patterns of how these payments are made, and because they are regular and automatic, when they are done, so the process goes. So they diverted. They subverted the payment process and diverted to other accounts. That's what they had. In fact, I am told that one of the jurisdictions where the money went has actually agreed to cooperate and frozen the money. So you transfer it to the other accounts, but it cannot be withdrawn. I'm told the other jurisdiction, there are mainly 2 jurisdictions, America and Japan, I'm told, and that the other one has not yet. Their financial laws, regulations, and practices don't stop people from, or we don't have that cooperation. So even when you appeal, they have to go through their processes, and by that time, people will have withdrawn the money. Yeah, but so it's for me nothing groundbreaking generally when you look at the digital financial environment, and we are all digitalized. So it is. However,
does that rule out
internal collusion?
The possibility of internal collusion?
No, you see, that's why investigations happen. You could have internal collusion, but you don't have to have internal collusion in the digital space. No, you just have to have people with superior technology to yours, and they will override yours. That is why people come and take over your phone when you have it. You have your phone, somebody sends you a link, you open the link to read, and they have taken over your phone. And they are seeing you through your camera, they are hearing you through your microphone, and they are asking for money from all your friends like you. That's why people steal identity. Yeah, somebody becomes Apollo. Yes, and does things with the voice of Apollo in whatever the things you have never done. That it's happening at the central bank level is serious, of course. That any bank in any of the underdeveloped world is so secure that it cannot be attacked, that's not true. No. So yes, the systems should be strengthened, Of course, it's an important lesson. Probably the practices should be examined. What are the authorization practices should be examined. Where there are lapses there are things that could be improved. But also it is the same. Many times when robbers break into our houses or into our cars, then we also enhance.
Enhance security.
That is, you know you are supposed to have an alarm in your car, but you don't put. When robbers break in and these guys at the road, then that's when you put. So I think it's part of a similar situation.
All right, viewers, you can now send in your comments and observations. I ask the producer to run that number on the screen. Send via WhatsApp, send via SMS platform. Tell us what you think about these new developments.
And the money might be more.
With technological advances and advancing every day, you expect these things to happen again, but when it happens to an institution like the central bank, then it raises questions on management and all that. Well, let me wait for your messages and I'll be reading them in just 5 minutes. Richard, does this in any way relate with the management structure with the head of the central bank not in office? We have lived without a governor for now 3 years, and here people have a reason to ask questions. Why? Maybe it is happening because we don't have a substantive governor, Bank of Uganda.
We have a governor. We have a governor
acting.
Yeah, there's no crisis. There's no individual there. This is hype for me. It's hype. 3 years we have lived without one. Another 3 years we live without one, and life will go on. You see, President Idi Amin just told the permanent secretaries to work without ministers. The government didn't shut down.
But Amin is not a very good story. I mean, government and administration is not a good story to relate to, or to example to relate to.
Yeah, you see, when you decide to demonize somebody, you also create the narrative that nothing good happened. But and you also condemn the people who come and point out some good. We have also sat here and said, at least our coffee money, the coffee boom money during Amin, we see what it did. What all these others who talk, what has the coffee boom money done? if that man was swine that much. So the narrative to demonize does not mean we won't take some examples and show them. You see, the Bank of Uganda is an institution, it's not an individual. No, it will run. The bank will run. Cyber attacks on any institution, including the CIA and the UK military, which have happened, is not because they didn't have a CIA chief or a commander-in-chief or whatever. It is not. These attacks will happen to us, the individuals, to small institutions. I was saying, wait for the next ones. A lot of these investment clubs of the Warikes and mine, we are all digitalizing. You wait. The hackers are going to have a bonanza and a field day.
Actually, these mobile money transactions, the wallets, mobile wallets that we now. Anyway, that's opens up debate on the safety.
Yeah. When I told you, when I was living out of one of these countries in Europe, somebody took money from 30,000 of our accounts. But you see, you don't see, if you take 10,000 shillings from my account, I mean, by the way, not see it. I would probably think it's bank charges. But if you take from 30,000,
that's a lot of money.
Yes, you have taken a lot of money. But we are not all not seeing. So probably even now, when you are talking about the wallet, somebody is siphoning off some 3 shillings from each one.
The absence of substantive bank governor does cannot
that will affect the bankers' operations.
The running operations of the central bank.
Those are your stories. The bank is going to continue running. You can experiment and wait another 3 years. Without that, the bank will be running. And this country will be run.
If it is collusion, like some people are actually suspecting that this could be
I am
collusion.
not part of that suspicion, actually.
I'm saying, what does it now say to the management of this country and institutions of government?
You only have to tell me where they are not colluding to steal. If you can point for me places where they are not colluding to steal, then I would say this is unique. Yeah. So I told you the real food that has gone, we shall be having a store on it here. So just show me a place where they are not colluding to steal. And then I will be saying, okay, maybe the Bank of Uganda is a very special institution in this country.
So what are we investigating now?
Because it's part of the stealing processes. You also have to do an investigation, then file a report, then gather dust. It's fine. It's all part of this.
I don't know if your submission is so conclusive as Richard's.
Not really. I would like to defy a bit. Of course, I love his confidence. His confidence, but I would like to defy a bit.
He asks, tell me which other institution you know where they do not collude to steal.
Of course, that one I absolutely agree with him. I do agree with him. And I also want to agree with him that hacking in banks may not necessarily be done with the knowledge of the topmost person. Now, my concern about the structure not being complete for such a long time is because the governor, a substantive governor, is also a chairperson of the board. And we had investigations in the central bank a few years back with even recommendations of creating an independent board in line with so many with the other best corporate governance practices, that you don't mix management and the board, and the same management that the board supervises is also the chairperson of the board, that the two are together. So there was a recommendation this should split, and then there were issues that came out, and of course I commend the acting governor Ating, because a lot of changes that have taken place inside there. There were issues that had come up, issues of Eterniste, people calling the bank a Vachiga bank within, amongst the staff, people fearing to eat, even to get, to sit together. A lot of that things were coming out, and many of them, probably part of his terms of reference was to come and clear and sweep certain things and make the changes. Exactly. But in the interest of the institution being fully accountable, I would like the institution to have a substantive governor, and then a deputy, and then when the structure is complete, it is part of accountability actually to the public, that you respect, as a president, you respect the institutions, you respect the laws. But if you don't constitute it, and by the way, there's also a danger sometimes. If you put someone in acting capacity for a very long time, they are not confident, they may not be confident in their position, and therefore certain decisions may not even be, they may be ignored.
Aguma says we can do it the Amin way.
Yes.
We can do it the Amin way.
Probably he has a point, because he has seen certain institutions that are fully constituted and they
are not working,
kind of dysfunctional. But for me, I would urge for appointing a substantive governor.
Well, let me quickly look at the messages that are coming in from our viewers. Somebody says, good morning, Apollo. Hacking any government organization can't be an ordinary person. This is what is called to whom it may concern. Those associated with government know everything about where the 62 billion went. I'm just asking those men in the studio, do we have technical people in each district who should be concerned with disasters or not? And what is their work in case they are around? Rest in peace to those who lost their lives. James is in Imare. Thank you so much, James. You'll respond. Do we have technical people? The district disaster committee.
Now, the district disaster committee.
Are they so technical?
The District Disaster Committee has the CAO, as the Chief Administrative Officer as the chairperson. But then it has other people co-opted, you know, because there's no money for it. So they depend on people like environment officer, they pick maybe engineering department, they pick people with some
but to respond
skills.
only,
Yes.
they don't possess technical skills to either to detect or respond.
Some of them have received some training supported by UNDP and others.
Okay.
You know, and others. But honestly, even if you are in that committee and you don't have what to use,
Okay.
you are like a doctor in a cesarean, going to do a cesarean without
Tools.
the facilities.
Okay, and I agree with James, and it is true. These hackers are not ordinary people. Those must be just very.
I think one day with government institutions, I'll let the viewer know that government institutions can be hacked. That's a fact. And
But not by ordinary people.
of course, the hackers are sophisticated.
Yeah.
But it depends. We should handle it case by case.
Okay.
Eh,
Thanks for the show. I am Nuwe Ian here at Mubus, Nakawa. Bank of Uganda systems should be improved and developed so that if someone hacks it, it takes time to withdraw the dime being taken so that system analysts can analyze the problem in time. I don't think this is just possible, that you delay transactions because people are doing business.
but once money goes, leaves
can't
your
delay.
account.
You can't
You
delay
can't instruct the other
transactions
party
to wait
to
until
wait.
some time before they withdraw their monies. So hackers also exploit that opportunity that they can access their money. Kipruto from Buko says, I am seeing the reluctance of the Bank of Uganda system. I have never seen such before. The former governor, you see? Well, he talks about reluctance, but I think that they have somehow relaxed and not taken care of the systems and improving the systems. But he also points out, notes that why did such a thing not happen during Governor Mutebire's era? I don't know. You, the one who has been saying, doesn't matter whether you have a governor or not.
Yeah, but
It didn't happen during Mutebire's time. That's what he's saying.
Governor Mutebire was not the first and is not the only governor. So I can also ask you, why didn't it happen during Governor Chiberango's time?
Oh, Chigundu.
Yeah.
Okay, he says, if the money can be stolen in Bank of Uganda really, could it be why if I leave some money in my account, I find it not there? Okay, he mentions the bank, I cannot mention it. Francis Kabiramaido district, he says good morning. You see, now, actually, you talked about it. You said it happened with you that some little money was chopped. And let me tell you, it is happening. It must be happening elsewhere. With even with data, we have been complaining with internet data that it disappears. You don't know how
Download
it is
one
chopped.
picture and
Yes. So here we are talking about money. We are talking about money that it could be happening, that money is being chopped without our knowledge. I don't know.
Yeah, but you see, now these are different. Those are different. Those are different things.
They are all thieves.
Yeah, but you see, the thief who steals your wallet when you are walking on the street, and the one who takes money from the bank are different. You see, breaches are not just to take money. Many times they are also to take data.
Yeah.
It is because we don't appreciate that data is the new gold. Yeah, we haven't yet reached there to appreciate, because people wonder, why is it that when you have many followers on TikTok, you get
Your
money?
account will be hacked into.
You know you get money.
Oh.
Why do you, when beyond 100,000 something on Facebook, then you start earning? Because people have not appreciated that data is actually the wealth, the new wealth. It's the one that drives the wealth in the digital industry. So it's this one who comes and takes your money, pulls money from your pocket. So the institutions which take our money behave like the streets thief who pulls money. These other hackers, by the way, they even are known. They are known. They have identity.
Yeah, this one was called West.
So they are known that it's the other group of hackers who hacked the American Pentagon thing, that it is the other group of hackers. They are expected to be based here. Because
they even hacked into the electoral process of the US, they say,
absolutely,
they claim.
Absolutely. So imagine how organized and how skilled and how coordinated they are. So that's different from this one who chops off your MBs. They are both thieves. But now you are being yeah. So that's the understanding that we need to have. That the people who come and raid the bullion. Okay, let's take the case of the bullion. We are not talking about it.
Yeah.
There are some, I don't know how many, 2-3 guys who
they were security guys
who took over a billion.
From a bullion.
From a bullion. Now, when you compare that billion and the $14 million, probably the billion in actual value for its owners is even higher. But they didn't do, they breached the security system, obviously. But they did not breach a cyber security system. So these are thefts according to where. Now the central bank, you can take 14 million from it, $14 million. Because it handles hundreds of millions of dollars. Otherwise, it's that if you expect to steal $1 million from my pocket, you will not find it because I don't carry 1 million shillings anyway. I don't have it. But for $1 billion you took. So that's the understanding that hopefully the viewers can have. That the digital groups are organized robbers who are in the digital space.
Highway robbers operating
because
in space.
the cyberspace is a cyber highway.
Yeah.
That's where we all move with our messages, with our photos, with our videos, and even there they are robbers.
Well, that's an elaborate explanation on the state of affairs. Now, Dr. Weruye, can we draw lessons?
Unless you say a substantive Bank of Uganda will be like a guard. Will be like an Chuzo with waiting for the cyber to hura them, but they will still.
You can't. Can we draw lessons from here? Is it something that we can that can awaken our mind to cyber crime? Well, you've talked about even these attacks happening in commercial banks and other financial institutions, but can it be a wake-up call for each and every institution, and not only financial institution, to bolster their cyber security systems and IT systems?
Actually, many financial institutions now have developed the security firewalls to detect cyber breach,
intrusion.
Yes, intrusion. Because some of them, what they do, they penetrate the software and then they are able to withdraw money undetected. Others, like I told you, it is through internal breach, someone sharing data of a client, and others like direct theft, where someone just sends money to an account which he knows the owner, and then the money is withdrawn immediately. We have a case here, I think, in one of the banks which happened recently. I think some billions were sent to a person who was expecting 500 million, received billions and was withdrawn immediately and taken. So we have those cases. So, but given this unique thing, actually I want to commend Bank of Uganda, because many of such have not happened, where these breaches. But this one is an eye-opener. One, is not that an outsider probably came and penetrated the system because they have firewalls.
Isn't it possible? Wait a minute. Isn't it possible that that such a things may happen and we don't know? Because I think it is Baguma who alluded to the fact that there is a way such a situations are managed, and
yes, and let me
we never get to know about
let me explain why. You know, banks operate on the goodwill of depositors. The depositors are the source of cheap capital that Richard, I and you collectively put money together, and someone is using our money to make what? Money. So if such information leaks, it creates,
so they have to manage
uncertainty.
Manage that information.
Exactly. You risk having a bank run where people are saying, okay, this is a bank of thieves, let's go and get our money out. The bank will collapse. That is the reason they first have to investigate quietly before the matter comes out. And so, but eventually we usually hear about it. There's so many cases.
Because before we proceed, we have seen many banks closing here. Even today, I read a report that is a big bank, international bank, that closed this morning, that wound up business in Uganda. So it can be possible that during the management of that information not to leak out, they look into their books of accounts and it is time to wind up and close. They don't have, or maybe they look at the customer list is diminishing and they wind up.
Yeah, so sometimes they could be because of the cost of doing business. Sometimes that could be a factor, because if you are making losses, then how do you sustain business? But it's a serious issue, like you asked. Lessons must be learned, but as we investigate this, probably at the end of the investigations is when we shall know exactly what happened. But what I know is that there was no breach from outside. Money was approved, I think, and sent. Only that at the destination is where it was sent to various wrong accounts.
Well, viewers, we have to wind up in a few minutes, but you can continue to engage in this discussion. Tell us what you think about this new development as technology now becomes another challenge to sustain the systems, to maintain the security of these systems. Looking at how the Bank of Uganda can also be the security systems can be breached and money siphoned from accounts. Richard, President Museveni, he has already, taken charge of the situation and instructed various intelligence organs to investigate. And what do you think? Can we see heads rolling anyway? I don't know. What do you think can be the outcome of these investigations?
No,
because you insisted these are no system, no institution is not prone to thuggery and stealing of funds.
Not just funds. The data security information, the health information. No institution can claim to be above breach. Yeah, any institution can find. You see, the systems that we talk about, the security systems, are developed by human beings.
And they're managed by human.
Absolutely, yeah. So the same human beings can override what they created, and this is what happens generally over centuries. So there is nothing now for the president to ask for an investigation, and I think that's really
order for
he needs. Yes, because I think he needs to understand. I'm not sure that he's such an expert that he understands cybersecurity. I think even him, he needs to understand how does this cybersecurity whole thing work. What are firewalls? Yeah, is firewall an AK-47? Is it a Mamba? Yeah, is it a Sukhoi?
It's a bulletproof.
Yeah, what is yeah. So how do you build them? Because you see, these things we don't see. They are virtual. We don't see. You can't touch them. It's not a safe which you come and click the numbers and you say, I put the money in there. But even when you put the money there, they put fake one. they still come and put some fake money there. So yeah. So you see.
So you walk to the ATM and
you withdraw new notes.
Instead of withdrawing notes, you withdraw paper.
You withdraw paper. New notes.
But useless paper.
But they are fake. Yeah, but they are paper in the system. So those are breaches. But you see, I think our president also needs to understand this whole cybercrime thing, the financial, what is the digital financial environment that we are operating in. A lot of these things are new. You know, we are doing them on the go. And this new one comes, they say this is the strong one, another one comes. There was I think it's a story of a submarine. I think it was a Russian submarine that they knew was very, very new, very modern. And they only discovered that the Americans were spying, picking information of it. And it was very scandalous. It had been built with so many billions and they were hyping it. So I think he needs to understand. Because you see, let me tell you, Apple, why this is really dangerous. For example, the navigation system of a helicopter, it depends also on digital information. It means somebody can hack
the GPS system
and divert you to another destination. So this is important to be understood.
Now I know why the president will take keen interest in the matter. If he listens to the last example you've just stated.
So it is important to get to the bottom. But it also means that, like every thief, if a system is easy to breach, it is attractive to thieves. So what is the level of investment that we need to do regularly? Do we need an additional set of staff, for example, with certain skills in the central bank or in our banking system? So where do they train from? Can we get some of our young people in this area and send them for training to acquire these skills? Do we need to work with certain companies with certain types of software that will then be what is the level of investment, financial investment that we need? So I think it's important that the president understands these things, and it could aid decision making, but it also could aid policy making.
Thank you. Finally, what do you expect from these investigations?
I can't predict. Richard talked of some reports gathering dust. I don't know whether it will gather dust, but of course I believe it is important that we should investigate, even if it is just to inform decision making. And then the other, which I wanted to tell the viewers, that cybercrime in terms of value is so high in the world.
Cybercrime, cybersecurity.
Cybercrime, the value of cybercrime, cases committed here and there using the internet is in financial terms is very. If the US, you know that the US economy is about $9 trillion, the GDP, and then followed by China. But the third, the value of cybercrime comes number third from the two, because there are people, ships that are being diverted, goods sent to unknown clients, and then they are cleared. And I have a case here at Kampala Metropolitan Police. I was investigating. My partners were made to ship goods from a port in China to Uganda, cleared by URA, and
you've never
impersonating a client in the US. But the way they manage the discussion, they even have white people here who pretend to be the Bazungu, the CEO, with the pseudonyms, and you'll ship a whole ship of wheat to Kampala, saying the time comes for payment, there are games being played. So we have to be very, very careful.
Do you think this may prompt the CEO to appoint a bank governor?
I don't think he will be shaken because you know the way Sabaluani acts. He does things that he's old. Right now he's very busy in the farms. I saw him cutting a pineapple the other day. So I think that's not, he's not in a hurry.
We have to wind up.
It should be at the East African Heads of State meeting now. I think it's in Arusha. But they don't cut pineapples there. But then we are coming back to on our pineapple cutting. I think he's going to Karamoja on the 4th.
Slaughtering.
So there maybe he will slaughter a sheep or something like that.
Okay, gentlemen. Good morning, Apollo. This is Martin from Busia. Thanks for the show. Humanity, by all intelligence combined, they cannot stop hacking because technology and digital world is from forbidden knowledge. Forbidden knowledge, where the devil himself teaches these men how to live in egocentric way. However, whoever gets an idea on how to steal smartly, they are only employed by banks to only reduce them from stealing secretly and steal openly. Finally, how can you employ a thief to expect him to teach others to steal where he is employed? We only need to remember God. And this is truth. People who are smart in digital systems to hack, actually hackers, are employed to bolster those cyber systems. I don't know if you have an idea about it. Those people who know how to hack are the same people who can build strong firewalls. I don't know. That's what I know.
Yeah, of course. These are people who know ICT. They are actually experts. They are software engineers.
Exactly.
They are
actually the people we call
system developers.
The people we call hackers are the same people who develop those systems, software systems.
And in most cases, men have worked with the banks before. So
the thieves, is, like you say, the thieves are within. They are the people they employ to build systems and make them so much secure, are the same people who also turn out to be hackers. Well, your parting shot, Richard. We have to walk out.
No, just for me is just be careful. Tomorrow is World AIDS Day. Just watch out for your health. The rates are increasing, particularly in the upcountry urban areas, including the peri-urban areas of Kampala. This is statistics. 2, just please kindly, we were speaking about alcohol yesterday and the other day. Also, while it is all available, it's also at an individual decision making. Again, it drives these disasters. Combine that into this festive season. Just don't die on the roads or kill other people on the roads.
Thank you. Your parting shot, Dr. Were?
Of course, the festive season is here. I'm also alarmed with the road crashes. Please, Ugandans, don't rush. You'll reach where you are going even if you take a normal speed.
Good. My name is Prince Apollo. Thank you so much for watching. One final message. Yes, hacking is possible, but also can there be a relationship between the hacker and the stakeholders? And lastly, we are not the creators or inventors of our computers. Software, it is so everything is possible. Yes, that's what we said. I must thank you so much for being part of this show. Thanks so much for sending in your comments and observations. Thanks to the production team. Well, let's catch up again next Saturday in another edition of the Dialogue.
He didn't bring chocolate. You didn't ask him. You challenged me on chocolate. You didn't challenge Welike.
Actually, I brought, but he didn't remind me.
Catch up again. Good afternoon. God bless you.